Letters with no names have begun appearing in the old postbox once again. The map maker believes only one guardian can explain why. The Wish Whisperer. Hi there, it's Sally from Rickety Snippets here, aka Myrtle Mudfoot, reporting from Quest Headquarters. Welcome back to Chapter 4, and we have another mystery to solve. So last week we met the Reflection Smith, and we discovered some of her magical mirrors that reveal hidden truths, and we made this enchanted mirror of our own, which, when you pull on it, reveals our fairy explorer. And we also collected her rather wonderful set of replacement reflections. So this week, the map maker has told us that we're going to meet someone quite magical, and that is the Wish Whisperer. So in his letter, he says, long ago, the people of the kingdom wrote their wishes upon scraps of paper. They sealed them with a kiss and entrusted them to the Wish Whisperer's care. Her task is not to decide which wishes deserve to come true, only to help each one find its way. So today, we're going to help her sort some of those rather mysterious wishes. So these are all the pages in the Explorer pack this week, and we're going to create a little magical post box, make some tiny envelopes, and we're going to kind of create our own wish sorting office. And we have a bonus piece of equipment, which is very exciting, and so we'll come back to that one later. If you've only just discovered the quest, it's never too late to join us. Just put the words Forgotten Kingdom into the comments and I'll send you a link to all of the Explorer packs so you can begin your very own adventure. So let's get crafting. So I'm going to start by cutting everything out. I'm not going to cut this page out just yet, but I'm going to cut everything else. And just to say that these two pieces are printed onto 160 GSM cardstock, and everything else I've printed onto paper. And on the back of this piece, I've printed this kind of green textured paper. And then onto all the other pieces, I've printed the map that we had from week 1. And just before I start cutting, there's one piece, this piece, before I cut it out, I'm actually going to stick that onto a piece of scrap card. So I've got a piece which is about 250 GSM cardstock, but you can put it on anything like a cereal packet or something. So you just want that bit to be a bit sturdier. Okay, so now that everything's cut out, let's begin by making our magical post box. So I'll put these pieces to one side. So like I said, I mounted that onto a heavier bit of card, and then I cut out the middle with a knife. And we also need to cut out a couple of bits on here with a knife. So the first bit I'm going to cut out, I'm just going to go around the edge of the letterbox slot with a knife. So it doesn't matter if it's not right on the edge. I would just leave a bit of that kind of dark space inside there. So that's that. And then I'm going to cut this door out as well. So I'm going to cut around these 3 edges, so along the top and along the sides, but I'm going to leave the bottom uncut. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to score along this bottom line. So I'm just going to line my ruler up along the bottom and score where this one came from. And then I'm going to cut down the side. So I'm going to cut down until I meet that score line at the bottom. There we are. And then we can just bend that down, or fold down into that score line. And we've got a little opening box there. So put that to one side, and then we're going to grab this piece, and I'm just going to stick this bit on top. So a bit of glue on the back, and then I'm just going to stick that down. There we are. Leave that one to dry, and then we want these two kind of fan pieces, and I'm going to score some lines on these. So there are 3 lines in the middle here, and I'm going to score along each one on both these pieces. And then we need to concertina them. So I'm going to fold, bring that first bit towards me, flip it over, fold back the other way, and then this one's going to fold the other way again. So what we're left with is a piece that looks like that. So you've got your fold in the middle, and then 2, so they call them valley and mountain folds. So you've got a valley fold in the middle and 2 mountain folds either side. Makes sense, I hope. So, and same for this one. And I'm going to just smooth them over with the bone folder as well. And then we're going to get this piece, and we're going to stick these to the door, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to fold the door out for a moment so you can kind of see what's going on. And then you see you've got this kind of little wing that goes there, so that needs to go inside. So we want the straight edge, those 2 folded mountain folds need to go against the straight edge of the door there. So that one will go that way, and that one will go that way. And I'm just going to put a bit of glue on that flap, or on that tab rather. And then with its folded edge facing outwards, I'm just going to stick it to the side of the door. That, and then I'll do the same with this one. There we are. So hold that a little bit closer to the camera so you can see there. Folded edges here, and then it's got that kind of middle bit is facing inwards on the door. And then I'm going to close that back up, lay it back down, and then with this tab I'm going to put some more glue on that one, and I'm going to fold it over onto this bit of the post box. So that's kind of edge of the post box, not on the door itself. Okay, and then same with this. Ease that open a little bit just to make sure it's not stuck to the door. When we turn it over, so I've got a little pocket there where our wish whisperer can collect her post. There we go. So that's that. And then we're going to put some glue onto here. I'm just going to put it around the edges, this top bit, not all over it, because I think that'll help the post move about a little bit. So, but all the way along the edges of these side bits, all along the bottom. And then just around the top of that bit. There we go. And I'm going to flip the post box over and then just line this up with the edges. So nice and central. So it's not overlapping anything and we can't see that from the other side. So there we are. And then we need a little handle. So got this. No, that's not the handle. This is the handle. This is the bit I cut out of the post box. So this is our handle. And then we want it to sit kind of a little bit proud from the door. So I'm going to grab a bit of that card that I stuck on the back of that other piece. So this came out of the center of that. And I'm just going to use my hole punch to create some little holes, some little rounds. And then it's up to you. You can just do a couple, or if you want it to be a bit more proud, you want more of these. So I'm going to have four little hole punches. And then I'm just going to put a bit of glue and stick them together. So we've got two stuck together there, and then I'm going to have another couple stuck together here. And then I'm going to put a bit more glue on top of those and stick that right to the rounded bit on the end there. And the handle. And it's got a life of its own. Oh, look, it's magic. Oh. Stick that on there. And then I'm just going to put a little bit more glue on each of those. And then stick it to the post box. Like that. So now we've got a little handle. Make it easier to get into. And let's stick it into the journal. So let's find a space. And I want to make it a kind of belly band tuck. So I'm only going to put glue on the top there. A fair bit on, so it's nice and secure, but just only on the edges. Like that. I'm just going to stick that to the side of the page. Like that. And now we need something to post into it. So the map maker in his letter asked us to bring a wish of our own. So we need these bits. So we've got this little piece of paper which we can write our wish onto. And we've got a little envelope to make up to stick it into. So let's move that over there for a minute. So I'm going to write my wish. I ought to do this secretly, otherwise, of course, it won't come true. So okay, so I'll fold that up, a little secret wish. And then we're going to make up the envelope. So I'm going to score along the fold lines in the envelope. So there's one either side along the tabs, and then there's one here and one here. So I'm going to score along all of those. And then I'm just going to fold in the tabs and fold along those other lines to make a little envelope. And so we need a little bit of glue on the tabs. And I'm going to bring this piece up and stick that down. There. How cute is that? So I can put my wish inside. Like that, and seal it up. A little bit of glue on there. Like that. A little secret wish. And then we can put a little stamp on it. So this one's got for the wish whisperer on the stamp, so it knows where it's going. Not that she really needs it, because she seems to know who's put wishes into the post box. There we are, massive stamp. Big. And then we can post it into the post box. Ooh. There we are. Oh, I haven't sealed it with a kiss. So the map maker says, when you find her, bring her a wish of your own. Fold it carefully and seal it with a kiss. And then leave it in her care. So I'll have to give it a kiss. That's it. There we are. Post it into the post box. I could post it right in, but I quite like it hanging out like that, so I might do that. I know, not safe. We'll get letter thieves. But it's a magic one, so I'm sure it'll be fine. And I think so behind this tuck, I'm just going to put the map maker's letter into there on that page. There we are. So I wonder how many wishes this little post box has seen and how many of them have already come true. Okay, so before we move on to our wish sorting office, let's gather around the campfire because it's time for this week's Quest Camp Bulletin. So firstly, welcome to all our new explorers who've joined us this week, including Zori Thunderboots, Hill to Homestead Squirrel, Vera Victorious, The Lost Legend, Pixie Portal, Mama Dance-A-Lot, and Elfie Pandragon of Malabar Castle. As always, a full list of our new recruits will be shown at the end of today's quest. In other news, Lady Fairweather reports that she was patiently waiting by the campfire for the explorer who was assigned to care the snacks. No snacks materialised, and she was left feeling a little bit hangry. The camp cook has been informed, and as no explorer should be left waiting around the campfire without snacks, a permanent supply of biscuits will now be left under the third turtle just beyond the field of giggling daisies. And Lady Gets Lost a Lot reported a significant win this week after returning to camp having not lost her way at all, leaving us all to wonder if there is magic at play. Now for our big news. It gives me great pleasure to announce that we have an inventor in camp. The rather brilliant Wendy I See a Pattern, together with her esteemed research assistant, perhaps artificial, has developed an exceptionally ingenious piece of field equipment. Officially known as the rabbit hole detector and classification device, field model number 8, has been painstakingly designed to determine whether a particularly promising line of inquiry is in fact a genuine rabbit hole or whether it's merely a cleverly disguised rat trap. So here, for the benefit of the scientifically curious, is an illustration taken directly from the inventor's notebook. The really exciting news is that after a rigorous review process, the mapmaker has officially approved the slightly amended Field Model 8 for use by explorers. So from today, every explorer can carry an official expedition rabbit hole device. So we have our official version here. So I'm going to cut it out, but before I do that, I'm just going to say that this piece also needs to be mounted onto a piece of heavy card. So I'm going to stick that down first and then cut it out, and then I'll be back. Right, so for this we need a little brad and something to poke a hole with. So the first thing I'm going to do is poke a hole right in the centre of this main piece, straight through there. I'm just using the awl to do that. And then we need a hole on our pointer, so in this bit here. So I'm just going to punch a hole in the middle. That. And then we can assemble it. So the first thing we're going to do is grab a brad and put it through the pointer and then through the hole there. And then I'm going to pull the arms of the brad apart. And I'm going to get my ruler and I'm just going to rest the ruler so you can feel it. So I've got my finger on the brad on the other side, and then I'm just going to push the arm down onto the ruler, and then that means it won't be too tight. Okay, so I'm going to do that both sides, and it'll just give us a little bit of spinning space there. And then the next two bits I need are these. So I'm going to put some glue along here. So there's a bit of a kind of tab here. And then I'm just going to stick that bit on top to make that a complete round. Yeah, and I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put a line of glue along there where the two meet, and then glue all the way around the edges on that bit and on here as well. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to start by lining up the bit at the top. Go, and then we can just give it a pat down from this side, and that is our rabbit hole detection and classification device. So now we need to know how to use it. So I'm going to refer to the instructions, and so it says, for the identification and classification of suspicious clues, curious connections, mysterious objects, and potentially significant rabbit holes. So operating instructions are: present the device with a clue, question, symbol, map, footnote, odd word, mysterious object, unusually opinionated teapot, or suspicious moth. So we need one of our little bits of paper, and I'm going to give it a clue. So last night in camp I saw an elf having a rather heated discussion with a glowworm, so I wonder if that is significant and will help us find the forgotten kingdom. So I'm going to put elf plus glowworm. And I'm going to fold it up and I'm going to put it in the top of our device. Get it in there. That's it. Okay. Yeah. And so with that clue locked and loaded, it says set the pointer in motion using a confident flick. So let's see. Whoa. Oh, look, it's right between two things there. Right between hidden door and smoke and mirrors. So let's see what it says for those. So we'll refer to the field interpretation guide, which says hidden door. Make a note, future you has an irritating habit of appearing unexpectedly clever. Oh, and smoke and mirrors. Exercise caution, look for the cracks. Reality rarely bothers to polish itself. Oh, okay. So I don't know what to do with this. Let's give it another spin. Okay, so we've now got candle in the cellar. Something is definitely down here. Possibly answers, possibly mold. Oh, it's completely brilliant. I think it will help us a lot along the way. There we are. So I'm going to tuck that into the fairy backpack, and we will be using that often, I think. Okay, so now it's time to help the wish whisperer. So we're going to need somewhere to organize all of these wishes. So we've got a few wishes here, including I wish to find my path I lost many years ago. I wish my cat spoke human. There's a few others there as well. So I thought we'd make her a little kind of filing system to put at the bottom of the page. And to make it, we need these bits. So these two, this bit, and there's a round bit somewhere. Where's that gone? It is there. So first of all, I'm going to make some score lines on this piece. So I'm just going to score along here, that line in the center, and along the lines on the tabs on the sides. Okay, so I folded that so that it's in half, and then all the tabs are facing outwards. Okay, and I'm going to start by putting a bit of glue on the tabs that are facing us. And then I'm going to stick that onto the back of this piece. And so we want it, so the folded line is going to be on the bottom here. And we want it as near to the bottom as we can get it without it actually showing on the other side. Like that. So stick that down. And then we're going to put some more glue on these tabs. And I'm going to stick that at the bottom of the page like that. And when that's dry, we can then open that up, and we have two little pockets here and here, and we'll put something in there as well. It's a lovely little filing system. And we also, I should have scored this actually, I was doing the others, but so we're just going to score along the top here of this piece. Oops, to create a tab there. I'm going to fold that over like that, and then put some glue on that. And then I'm going to open this up again, and I'm going to put the tab so it butts right up to this piece here. Like that. And close it up, just make sure that's in the right place. Come over a little bit. There we are. So we've got a little it's kind of a wallet, isn't it, really? To file in. And then we need this piece with a little keyhole on it. And I'm going to put a line of glue at the bottom there and stick it to the folder here. So no glue is going to go on that, the flap there. It's just on this bit. There we are. So it's going to be a little closure, and we can pull it open like that. Okay, so now we need to sort our wishes. So we have all these wishes that were written by people that we'll probably never meet. And we don't know who they are, but the wish whisperer always knows exactly where each one belongs. So we have been tasked with stamping them with one of three options. So we've got 3 granted. So we're going to grant 3 wishes today of these. And then we have other stamps. So we've got a stamp that says, not this time. And this one says someday soon. So they're little official stamps that we can put on each of the wishes. So I'm going to make my decision secretly so that I don't influence yours. So I'm going to grant some and then put someday soon or not this time on the others. So we've got 3 to grant. There we are. So I've got my 3 that have been granted and my 3 that may be granted soon. And I'm going to put the 3 that may be granted soon into the filing cabinet, waiting for later. There we are. Let's tuck them in there. And then the 3 that are granted are going to be carried away by our magical wish birds. So for these, each of them has a little triangular piece like this, and they will fit behind their tails. Now what I didn't do is keep them all separate so I know which one's which, so I'm just going to have to match them up. See if I can see where they go. Oh, I think that's right. Like that. There we are. As long as you can't see them on the other side, it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to put a bit of glue at the top of the triangle like that. So you've just got a bit underneath here on that curved edge that hasn't got any glue on it. And then I'm just going to stick that to the back of the bird. Do that for all of them. So I've made up 3 little envelopes to put our granted wishes in. So they can all sit inside there. That, and then they all need a stamp. We've got 3 little stamps with wish post written on them. And when all that's dry, our 3 little wish birds are going to carry away our envelopes with our granted wishes in them. So we're going to slip the envelope between the tail and that little bit that we stuck on the back, like that. And then we're going to arrange them on the page. They're kind of flying away with them. I'm going to go there a little bit, maybe. There we are. And kind of stagger them on the page. We might have to overlap the edges a bit, but something like that. Okay, let's stick this one down first. So we just want glue at the top of the bird. I have a little wing overlapping the top of the page. That. And that one. And oh, it's flying away already, this one. Glue on that one. Move them along a bit so we can see them. There we are, carrying our wishes off. So they should hold them. Yeah, I'm going to hold them in place. So there we are. I think the Wish Whisperer would be very pleased with our work today. And now, of course, we have our map piece and our emblem we need to deal with. So we'll stick our emblem onto our quest log. I'm going to put some glue on that and stick that down. Which way up is it? That way. There we are. So a nice emblem for the Wish Whisperer. And our piece of map, which needs to go into our fairy backpack. Tuck that in there. So our wishes have been safely posted, our rabbit hole detection device is packed and ready to go. And I like to think that the Wish Whisperer is already on her way to empty the postbox and answer our wishes. So let's head back to camp for a nice cup of tea and to welcome some of our new explorers. I'll see you next week for another letter from the map maker. And until then, may all your wishes find their way. Safe travels. Bye for now.